This is Mel Thompson, and this is a podcast and a series of podcasts about political risk. Today we're going to be discussing Estonia and state-owned enterprises, also known as SOEs. Now, Estonia has 27 state-owned enterprises, and the law as established now is that these enterprises do not have an advantage over private concerns that are the product of foreign direct investment or companies' involvement in Estonia. The SEO operation, in theory, is on the same legal basis and standing as a private enterprise without any advantages. With a foreign direct investor or company doing business or considering doing business in Estonia may run into SOE issues is in the method of the SOE management in Estonia. So therefore, it may be on equal footing. You may be on equal footing with these things, but you need to dig a little bit deeper to make sure that you understand what equal footing means under their definition. SOEs report to independent supervisory boards consisting of government officials. These are politically affiliated individuals and also prominent members of the business community. These are not your people. So therefore, you need to be aware of that. Despite the rule of law, this needs to be a concern due to the political ramifications that result when an SOE loses business. Do you really believe that an SOE that loses business is not going to be somehow scrutinized as to how, why, when, and who did this to the SOE? Not because of a overall vendetta against foreign direct investment or companies coming in. By all means, Estonia wants your money in your business. What they don't want you to do is jeopardize their political and personal relationships that make money for people involved in these SOEs. So this is somewhat of a juggling act. It is on paper one thing. In reality, it is another. You need to be very, very familiar to understand what an SOE is. I'm going to repeat the name again. These are state-owned enterprises, and they are basically run by people who are tight with the government, understand the rules and regulations as they have written them, and if one of these things loses money because of your due diligence, because of your efforts, you're going to possibly run into a market entry problem or restrictions upon what you're doing well after you put the money in and proving that something can be profitable. This is where there's a problem. And this is where contracts need to be written in a way to mitigate this particular political risk. A contract with the host nation that basically says if there is a loss due to any type of pullback, rule changes, issues with an SOE that can be obviously can be traced back to a particular SOE, then you will be compensated X. X is whatever you lost. So part of managing the political risk is to assume that you're going to have one when you go and walk into Estonia and you're up against an SOE. You're always going to be up against an SOE, and these are not, as I said previously, your people. They may not be bad people. They're probably great people. I'm sure they are great people. But their interests are not your interests. And we're not talking about a game of checkers here. This is serious business. This is money. These are efforts. These are lives of people who you employ, who put money into your company, your investments, and somehow, some way, through another channel, whether it be through a supply chain or whatever, are dependent upon the fruits of your labors. You cannot take this less seriously than you have always done, just because it's Estonia and it's not someplace where there's a history of anti foreign direct investment or anti Americanism. This is a place that is a fantastic country that is friendly to us, that is obviously a former Soviet satellite, but now they're in the global universe, if you will. Yet you need to be very cautious because no matter who your friends are later down the road, they have their interests and they need to be respected. Their interests need to be respected. Don't walk into Estonia and think that an SOE is not going to be a competition with you. Don't think of them as not being your friend, but certainly understand that they exist. Estonia is going to protect them above and beyond anything with you, but make sure that you can recover any losses due to this type of activity by contractually tying the host nation and other investors within your the scope of this project to a recovery of funds that can be traced directly to a particular SEO that has caused your loss. This has been Mel Thompson.